Okay, so today on the deep dive, we're going to unpack this really interesting back and forth we found about the rumored iPhone 16 Pro Max.
Yeah, there's some serious buzz around this
We've
one.
got two perspectives to work with, right?
Yep.
One person's like totally hyped, like ready to pre-order yesterday. And then we've got the other side like, hold on, let's see if it's actually all that. So
A good dose of skepticism. Love it.
exactly. So our mission, right, we're going through their points to kind of distill what's really going on, give you all the info, the good and the maybe not so good, so you can decide what you think.
Right on. It's like peeking behind the curtain of the hype cycle, you know?
Absolutely.
And I think we've got some juicy points lined up. We're going to be diving into design, performance, of course, the camera upgrades, AI features. Those are always fun. And then the big question, is it worth the upgrade?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
First up, design. Our enthusiastic friend was super stoked about any potential design changes.
Right.
Talking about new materials, maybe a slightly different feel, things like that. Like really leaning into that high-end iPhone vibe.
And right away, the other perspective was, are these changes really innovative? Like, have we seen this before, just slightly tweaked?
Yeah, like, is this a genuine improvement or just kind of a refresh?
Exactly. And they even push further, like, do these design changes actually improve how we use the phone?
Ooh, good point. Form versus function, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Next, performance.
Yeah, boy. The excitement was palpable, like through the screen. Our enthusiast is all about the next generation chip, blazing fast speeds, the idea that the phone can handle anything you throw at it.
Right, like a total powerhouse. But then the skeptic chimes in, will we even notice a difference in our daily use? You know, like,
Yeah.
are our phones already so powerful that a little extra speed is kind of meaningless?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, how much power do we actually need?
Totally. It makes you think about what new apps or features would even need that extra horsepower.
Okay, moving on to the camera, which always gets a lot of attention. Of course, it's the heart of the smartphone these days.
Our enthusiast was detailing potential upgrades to the sensors, maybe even new lens technology, and advancements in what we call computational photography. So things that could lead to even better photos and videos.
For our listeners who might not be familiar, computational photography is all about how the phone uses software to enhance images after you've taken them, like improving low-light shots and stuff.
Right, like a lot of the magic happens behind the scenes.
Exactly. But the skeptic raised a really valid point. They wondered if those improvements would actually translate into noticeably better pictures for everyday users.
Yeah, like will the average person really see a huge difference?
Right. They wondered if the gains might be pretty subtle for casual photographers, not necessarily a game changer.
That's a good point. And then, of course, we get to AI.
AI, the buzzword of the century.
Right. Our enthusiast was practically giddy, envisioning these new AI-powered tools that could transform how we use our phones, make things super convenient and personalized.
The real question is, though, how well will these AI features actually integrate into our lives? I mean, are we talking about genuinely useful tools or just kind of gimmicky add-ons that we'll use once and forget about?
Yeah, and what kind of AI are we even talking about?
Right, that's the key. Maybe smarter photo organization, more intuitive voice commands, but the specifics are what really matter.
Right, absolutely. And then the final showdown.
Well,
Is the iPhone 16 Pro Max actually worth the upgrade?
the million-dollar question.
The loyalist was all in, pointing to all these potential advancements as reasons to take the plunge.
Yeah, they were sold. But the skeptic had some really compelling counter-arguments. They were really digging into the value proposition. Like, would these incremental changes, and let's be honest, they probably will be incremental, truly justify the cost for someone who already has a fairly recent iPhone?
That's the crux of it, right?
Exactly. Is the new shiny enough to warrant spending that much?
So let's recap.
Yeah.
We've got the optimism around design changes versus the question of real innovation. We've got the promise of faster performance against the reality of everyday use.
Right.
Potential camera leaps versus more modest improvements, and then the excitement around AI features versus their actual utility.
It really boils down to potential versus practical impact. It's a classic dilemma.
Absolutely. And what's so interesting here is how differently people weigh the allure of new technology against their actual needs and experiences.
It really makes you think.
It does. So considering all these angles, the hype and the hesitation, what would actually make you feel like a new phone is a real step forward in your own daily life?
What would make you say, okay, this is worth it?
That's something to think about.
Definitely.
All right, that's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Catch you next time.